Hey, Perry Jeffries here, the Entrepreneur CFO. Here recently, I posted a question on Facebook of why don't more people hire financial advisors? Because, well, let's start here. Is there a benefit to having a financial advisor? Absolutely, it's a huge benefit to having a financial advisor. Same way it's a huge benefit to having a personal trainer, a huge benefit to having a coach, a huge benefit to having an architect if you're building a home. So, an analogy that I use a lot is if you were building your dream home, would you rely on your own expertise to build that home from scratch, or would you hire some experts to help you build that home? So that's how I feel people benefit from having a financial advisor because you want to have an architect to help draw that wealth gap or that wealth creation vehicle for you. So when I asked the question, why don't more people hire financial advisors? You guys responded, and here are some of the responses that we received. So one response was, people are scared to know the truth about their situation, and some think they can do it on their own. Well, granted, there are some, DIY, do-it-yourself folks who want to do things on your own, and that is totally fine. But if I was to use this example and say, hey, if you were sick and you needed, heart replacement surgery or lung replacement, would you do that surgery on your own, or would you go to an expert who had a track record and background and education handling something of that matter? So yeah, you can do everything on your own. Example I used with clients in the past: if you were sick, you could definitely go to the pharmacy, go to the CVS or Walgreens in your area, and walk down the aisle, diagnose yourself, and get some medication. And guess what? You may actually feel better. Totally fine. But do you think it would be more efficient for you to go to the doctor, find out exactly what's wrong, and then go to the pharmacist and get a prescription? So with a prescription, probably would you have more success with having a prescription, something that's specifically for you? Or would you have better success, walking on the aisle, trying to diagnose yourself and pick some things off the shelf? So, that's how I feel about why people should have financial advisors, and not just financial advisors, but experts in anything that they're looking to really try to accomplish. So, with that said, that was one of the things people had on there. So, people are scared to know the truth about the situation. So, it's like going to the doctor. Nobody wants to go to the doctor, right? How many people are consistent with their annual checkups? Nobody wants to go to the doctor, but we all go to the doctor when something is wrong versus going to the doctor prior to. So it's one of those deals. Yeah, you may sit down with a financial advisor and you may be good and you may receive some harsh truths, but you at least now know exactly where you are and can put a plan together on how you can improve that situation. All right. So first thing, second question, or second response I received here: many minorities just don't feel they have enough assets to work with an advisor. The large wealth management firms typically see clients that have a large net worth. There's some truth behind that. So I used to work at a very large wealth management firm, and some firms, require you to have maybe a $250,000 minimum for them to work with you. But guess what? There's more firms than large wealth management firms. There's independent financial advisors. There are boutique firms. There's insurance agents. So so you don't have to limit if you don't qualify to work with the large wealth management firms. Don't go there. There's experts and people just as licensed in some of the smaller firms. So that's sometimes people feel like, oh, I don't have enough money to work with. Well, find somebody who's in your space, who specializes in working with clients like yourself. Not all financial advisors are built the same, nor do we all do the same thing or all have the same specialty. So you find somebody you work with. So if you were first, coming out of college, yeah, you're not going to, the UBSs or the Merrill Lynches of the world, but maybe you're going to your Northwestern Mutuals or your New York Lifes or something along those lines. So you find a firm that specializes in dealing with, people like yourself. All right. Most people think it's too expensive. This is the one I hear the most. And this is the one like blows my mind. So how much does a financial advisor cost? I've been a financial advisor for 15 years. I've yet to have a client pay me out of pocket. So when people say a financial advisor is too expensive, it gets me to wondering, do you think you have to go and pay out of your wallet, out of your pocket to have a financial advisor? Well, I'm showing you guys actually how most financial advisors are compensated. Okay. So we're going to dispel that myth today too. So why people think it's so expensive to work with a financial advisor is absolutely mind blowing. So I'll show you guys here how you can actually afford a financial advisor. If y'all can hear me, please um, give me a quick comment, a thumbs up, and whatnot before I get too far into this. I probably should ask that question earlier on. So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or a quick comment. Okay. Next response we received here. You don't know what you don't know, so you don't value what you don't understand. So a lot of folks don't know that I'm a personal trainer. Well, actually, my initial certification is I'm a strength and conditioning coach. So the reason I'm telling you this is that some of you may have seen some of my posts where I did a physique show some time ago. Well, guess what? Even though I'm a strength and conditioning specialist, I still hired a personal trainer to prepare for the physique show. I still hired a nutrition to prepare for the physique show. I still hired a posing coach to prepare me for the physique show. So what I'm trying to illustrate and articulate to you here is that if you want to have tremendous results, you cannot solely depend on what you know. You more times than not need to bring in professionals to give you some guidance and some expertise so that you can save time, energy, and money. Okay. So you want a team, save time, energy, and money. All right. Next thing we have here. You don't know what you don't know. So I kind of use that example. If I circle back to it, I knew how to train clients to, get an athletic look, to run faster, to jump higher. But I didn't necessarily know how I needed to train to walk on stage. So what did I do? I hired somebody who that was their expertise and who had a track record of being successful in that particular space. Intimidating. So can working with the financial advisor be intimidating? Only if you think it's intimidating. What's intimidating? So financial advisors are just like people, just like you. And most financial advisors have a heart and a spirit of trying to help people out. We generally want to see people not struggle with their finances, be able to sleep at night because they have a financial plan. So most financial advisors are coming from that place of helping and coaching and educating. So why would you be intimidated to sit down with somebody who that's what they do? But granted, some folks are intimidated because, again, maybe they don't really want to know the truth. Well, if you really don't want to know the truth, then obviously you really don't want to get better. Because if you want to get better and improve in anything, you need to know the truth and the facts. So I hear that a lot. Oh, it's intimidating. I don't see how it's intimidating to sit down with another human being and say, hey, I'm going to get better. Can you help me out? That's not a matter of being intimidated. That's a matter of being humble and setting your ego aside and understanding that you don't know everything. And there's somebody who may be able to provide you with some information to take you to the next level. Most people live in the now and are not intentionally planning for the future. Well, if you don't plan for the future, I guarantee you this, time waits for no one. So if you're not planning for the future, your future planning for you, and this may not be the future that you're planning on. So you might as well get your arms wrapped around exactly what you want to have in your future. So understanding, there's a many of folks, I believe I saw some stats that 70% of people will not be able to retire ever. I don't want you to be one of those people. I think everybody should have the opportunity to retire, but retirement is different things for different people. I work with a ton of entrepreneurs. So retirement for us may be just, being able to take our foot off the gas and pass our businesses to our children and not work as hard, or take many vacations throughout the course of our careers. But retirement is different for everybody. But at some point in time, you need to be in a place where you can actually relax, whether that's throughout the year or whether that's at the end of some time period. But none of us want to work our entire lives. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to work until I die. And if that's by choice, so be it. But at least give yourself the choice to be able to work part-time, right? So you got to start planning for your future. Some people think they are too expensive. Here's the most common thing right here. I'm going to show you guys how you can afford a financial advisor. A lot of people lack the money to invest. There's some truth to that, right? So there's some truth. You have to have money to invest to grow the money. So I have people reach out to me and say, hey, Perry, I don't have any money, but I want to start investing. Well, I don't have a magic wand. I can't just wave my wand and boom, here's money for you to invest. But what a lot of people have a misconception over is you don't have to have thousands of dollars to invest. You can start investing with a small amount of money, $100 a month, $250 a month, $1,000 every quarter, whatever fits into your budget. The dope thing about investing is that the earlier you start, the less you have to put away. It's when you wait too long that you got to start putting major monies away. But you don't have to have a big chunk of money to invest. So I have people ask, well, Parent, what do I need to start off investing? Wherever your budget is. So with that being said, you want to make sure that you're sitting down with someone who can help you where you are. And that may not be the large wealth management firm where you have to have $250,000, but there are other financial advisors who can definitely help you out. So you don't have to have a big chunk of money to invest. And as far as that lack of money to invest, people don't have a problem buying a whole bunch of Jordans and tennis shoes. I don't see people having an issue getting their hair done. I don't see how people getting their nails done. I don't see people having issues buying luxury vehicles. I don't see people having cable bills and multiple cell phones. So there's money within that budget to be able to put some dollars away. It's just a matter of, do you see value in putting those dollars away? And more importantly, do you realize that you don't have to have a large chunk of money to put away? So that's key in that respect as well. Okay. And last one I had right here, the misconceptions about how much money you need to use to have a financial advisor, not having a clear understanding of what a financial advisor does. So let's start there, and then I'll get to my dry erase board back here. What does a financial advisor do? Well, let's start off with what a financial advisor does not do. Your financial advisor is not the person who is in charge of your budget. You own that. You need to know your budget. Now, your financial advisor may be able to help you identify some things that you maybe let go in your budget, but it is your job to sit down and understand what your budget is. And your budget is simply how much money is coming in versus how much is going out. That's your job. So that's not your financial advisor's job. That is your job 100%. But maybe your financial advisor can help you with that, or provide you with some resources so you can get a clear understanding of what that budget looks like. So maybe from that standpoint. Now, what a financial advisor does is and this is me in particular. I can't speak for all financial advisors, but what we do is advise you on how you can most effectively and efficiently reach some type of financial goal. Everybody has different goals. Maybe your goal is to buy a house. Maybe your goal is to send your kids to college. Maybe your goal is to get out of debt. Maybe your goal is to retire at age 50. Those are all different goals. So maybe your goal is to be able to leave your kids with $1 million. That's again financial goals. And as an advisor should help you put together a plan, a plan of attack to help you reach those goals. That's what a financial advisor does. Financial advisor doesn't necessarily mean stocks and bonds, which a lot of people think. A financial advisor is someone that you can go to and say, hey, here's my current situation. This is what I'm trying to do. How do I get there? Very similar to going to a doctor. When you sit down, you go to the doctor's office, you fill out a questionnaire. This is where I'm sick. This is how I'm feeling. These are the medicines I'm taking. This is my family's history. And then when you meet with that doctor, they ask you some more questions, and then they give you recommendations. They prescribe to you what you need to do to get better. That's the same thing a financial advisor does with your finances. So why don't more people have financial advisors is mind-blowing, because we all need one. Even financial advisors need financial advisors, because guess what? You sometimes can't see what you're doing because you're clouded by your own lenses. Having that second set of eyes come in and to look at some things can be wildly beneficial. But again, that's the issue of humility and ego. You have to let your ego aside to be able to ask for help. Okay. So that's what a financial advisor does. Now, let's get into my board back here. So with my time being in the industry 15 years, I've worked for the large wealth management firms, I've worked for a bank, and then I've been independent as the entrepreneur CFO for the last 4 years or so. So when people hear financial advisor, what does that mean to you? Well, it's confusing. I know it's confusing to the to consumers because it's confusing to the rest of the financial advisors because all of us have different licensings and designations and things of that nature. So I got some I'm gonna show you stuff from the board right here just to give you an idea, right? So you're gonna have some folks who specialize in insurance. Specialize in insurance. And they may tell you they're a financial advisor. Where can they provide financial advice? Possibly, depending on what other designations and expertise they have. Maybe their main vehicle is life insurance. Can a person put a decent financial plan together with life insurance? Absolutely, they can. But now the question comes down to, can you afford it? Well, the person whose life insurance license, well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, you don't pay them out of pocket. They're paid off of the life insurance. So if you buy a whole life product, or you buy an annuity, or you buy some term insurance, or whatever products that person recommends, they're usually paid by the insurance company. So you may get a decent financial plan or some awesome financial products. And how much did you pay for those products? Well, you didn't pay the advisor anything. They were paid by the insurance company. So are financial advisors too expensive? If you're dealing with life products, now it's pretty inexpensive. You just have to have the monies available to purchase the said products. Okay. Now, let's say you're dealing with some advisors who have some type of securities license. So maybe they have, a Series 7 or a Series 6, right? So those individuals can sell securities. So mutual funds, if a person has a Series 7, they can sell stocks and mutual funds and ETFs and REITs. Person has a Series 6, they can offer mutual funds in their plan. Now, how are they typically paid? Well, typically they're paid on commission. Okay. So being paid on commission typically means that if you purchase a product, they're usually paid a commission. Well, they're not charging you a commission. That product usually has a commission built into it. So maybe that commission is 4% or 5% or 3% or whatever the case may be. So usually whatever you purchase that product for, so let's say you put, $100 into said mutual fund and it's commission. Well, then that mutual fund company charges, say, 4%. So on that $100, $4, and then the advisor gets part of that $4. So again, did you pay the advisor? No, the advisor more likely got paid off of the investment that you bought. So typically that's how it works from a commission-based standpoint. So they offer you a product, whether it's a mutual fund or maybe a stock piece or whatever the case may be, and there's some type of commission that's being generated. But unbeknownst to what a lot of people think, the advisor isn't the one charging the commission. The commission is built into the product, and the advisor is sharing in that commission with who's ever offering that product, is usually how that works. So then you have folks who are commission-based, right? Then you have folks who are fee-based. So like myself, I have what's called a Series 66 license. So with a Series 66 license, how it's different from commission versus, fee-based is commission, a service, a product is offered, commission is paid. With the fee-based, a portfolio is built, and instead of paying a commission, that advisor may receive a fee. An annual fee is usually how to set up. So typical rule of thumb, you might be paying anywhere from 1 to 1.5% annual fee for a portfolio. So let's say you have $100,000 in a portfolio, for example, and that advisor is charging 1%. Well, that advisor is making $1,000 a year on that portfolio. Now, what some people say about fee base is that puts the advisor and the client on the same side of the table, because if that client's money grows from 100,000 to 200,000, well, that advisor now, instead of making $1,000 a year, is making $2,000 a year. But that money again comes off of the investment. So the client isn't reaching in their pocket and taking out their wallet and paying the advisor. The money is coming off of the actual investment. So again, what was the cost, your out-of-pocket cost to work with the advisor? But most people aren't working with advisors because it's too expensive. All you have to do is just ask advisors how they get paid. Like with anybody, if you're going to do business with any person or any company, you ask the question, so how do you get paid? All right, so there you go there. So you have folks who have life insurance licenses, you have folks who have securities license where they're commission based, and then you also have folks who maybe are fee based. Okay, or you have an advisor who's like me, who's all of the above. So as an independent financial advisor, when somebody works with me, I can offer insurance products. I can offer, securities. We can offer fee-based platforms, all of the above. So again, from a full disclosure standpoint, we just had a conversation with the client and say, okay, we can put your plan together and this is how we're going to be compensated. And again, the client hasn't paid anything out of pocket, because I'm either being paid by the insurance company, out of the investment, or out of the investment. So it's mind blowing to me when I hear people say, oh, financial advisors are just too expensive. More times than not, you're not paying out of pocket. Now, I will say this. There are still financial planners who may charge you to create your plan. And that's how they're compensated. So they might not be licensed to buy the security or buy the investment or whatnot, but they're going to put your plan together for you. So it's no different than hiring an architect. So if you're going to build your home, your dream home, first person you're going to hire is the architect, and you're going to pay them for the drawings, right? And then after you have the drawings, then you may go and hire the different contractors to come in and follow those drawings to build out, your dream home. But you may have to pay that architect on the front end just to get those drawings. And that's totally fine. And that's what you find with someone who's a financial planner. Okay. So that's different than working with a quote financial advisor per se, if you will. And then you have some financial advisors who are also financial planners based upon designations, what have you. Right. So just a little piece in there. So this is just kind of giving you a general idea of how advisors are paid and licensing. And then as you're looking for a financial advisor to work with, ask them if they have any designations. Designations are a great way for you to get an idea of what their specialty is. So case in point, I have two major designations. I have what's called a CRPC. I'm a Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor. So through the College of Financial Planning, I am quote unquote a retirement plan expert. If your financial goal, because you can have multiple financial goals, is to make sure that you're in the right retirement plan and you're getting the most out of those dollars and set up, then you might want to talk to somebody who has a designation like myself. I also just recently picked up a designation called the CPFA, so Certified Plan Fiduciary Advisor. So under that, I'm a fiduciary advisor, which means that typically I'm doing a lot of fee-based business, especially dealing with 401k plans and things of that nature, right? So again, from a fiduciary standpoint, what we're looking to do is always take in always move in the client's best interest. So again, when I work with clients, you know that if I'm functioning in my fiduciary capacity, that your interests are first and foremost, right? So, and then you have advisors who are independent, which means they're not limited to just, offering what's being sold at their firm. So a great illustration you kind of think about that is this. Let's say you needed a meal plan, okay? Well, let's say you went to a butcher and said, hey, butcher, I need a meal plan, hook me up. Well, what is the butcher going to offer you? They're going to offer you meat. Why are they going to offer you meat? Because that's what they have is meat. The butcher's not going to offer you kale and quinoa and whatnot because they don't have it. So that's what you run into with some financial advisors is that they're going to offer you the products that their firm or their company allows them to sell. And there's nothing wrong with that because I know some advisors with some firms who do a phenomenal job with their clients and they're absolute experts, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the products that they have, right? Or if you need a meal plan, you could go to a nutritionist. And the nutritionist is going to say, hey, based upon the results you're trying to achieve, you're going to need some quinoa and some grilled chicken and some brown rice. And because they can pull everything because they're independent, you may get a better variety of investments. And in some cases, maybe get a better recommendation or a better plan because now they're able to pull from a lot of different places versus, hey, this is the only thing that you can offer. So just kind of something to think about as well when you shop around for financial advisors. So in closing, period, point blank, do you need a financial advisor? Well, if you want to be successful, if you want to be, if you want to at some point in time want to be able to retire, if you want to have peace of mind around your finances, the answer is yes. You need a financial advisor. My question is, did you learn something from this? Do you see now that you can actually afford a financial advisor? Yes, because most financial advisors are being compensated by their firm or out of the investment with no out of pocket to you. You just need to make sure that you have dollars available to invest. And you may have those dollars from your old 401k plans, old pension plans, savings, whatever the case may be. All right. Other things we had in here, kind of looking at my list, lack money. Some of us lack, you know what I'm saying, lack money to invest. So with that, then that's when you sit down and you generally look at what you're spending your money on. Because I did a post here a while back that said not only do you need to pay your current bills, but also too, you need to put money away for your future bills and let that money grow to the point that when it is time for you to retire or reach that particular financial goal, that those dollars are available for you and have been able to grow. Okay, so that's Perry Jeffries here, the Entrepreneur CFO. And what we do with my firm is we help entrepreneurs and professionals create and execute customized financial plans so that first and foremost, you have peace of mind. Having a plan gives you peace of mind. And secondly, can position yourself to one day become financially free. I hope this information was helpful. Thank you everybody for your feedback. If you have any questions, feel free to post those questions in the comment section, and then we'll have some resources available for you as well. All right, then love to hear your feedback. All right, y'all. Peace.